This is the ultimate PS5, Xbox Series X, Switch, and PC gaming setup. From this single spot, not only can we play all of the games at the same time, but we can also stream and record them all with this simple setup that only took us several months to put together. The crown jewel of our setup really is how we have all of our consoles and PC connected through an HDMI matrix. So we actually did an entire video on this, but it works fairly straightforward. So basically all the cable management is being done. We previously had this set up with like the PS4 and the Xbox One, but now that we have all the brand new generation consoles, we have them all running through this matrix, which can support 4K 60, and then they go either up to the TV or they go into our PC so we can capture, stream, whatever we want to do. So for example, right now, if the PS5 wants to wake back up again, we have our PS5 up on the TV. So if I just want to play some Cyberpunk, haha, joke's gonna be dead by the time this video's live, I can do that. However, if I want, I can just go and flip that over here. So I can throw the Xbox up on the TV. And then instead, I want to play, I don't know, some Switch down here and I want to record it. So I can just simply do this and it will switch that over. And then if I want to do some streaming, I can then do this. So now, with just a couple of button presses, I have my Xbox, which I can play, I have my Switch here, which I can record, and I have my PS5 here where I can stream, all with literally a couple of presses of a button. Did I have to rehearse that a million times to make sure I didn't set up the wrong thing? Yes, I did. But it is super nice to be able to have the ability to play not only all of our consoles, but also our PC, because that's also looped in here, in any orientation we want, right? So when it comes to actually using the setup, it's, well, not quite done. I mean, these things are always a work in progress, but I'm just gonna, just get down here. I should be fine. So now I can easily game, stream, and record all from one comfortable battle station. If only I had some support, Matt. If only you could bring in some support right now. Thanks. So now that we have a box to sit on, I'm very happy to be able to game. Now, so Razer actually were very kind in hooking us up with some of their peripherals, not only on the actual gaming side, but also the brand new Isker gaming chair. Now, what is a Razer gaming chair? I don't know. It looked cool. They said, hey, you wanna take a look at it? And I was like, yeah. Well, it does say, this is perfect gaming form, and it surely couldn't be worse than the form I just showed off. I just like how you clicked on a video talking about the ultimate PS5 and Xbox gaming setup, and now you're watching two dudes build a chair. Aren't you happy with your YouTube watching habits? I mean, it looks like a lot, but honestly, it's not a lot. Like, there's like 8 things here. We'll be done in like an hour. All right, I'm ready. Let's go. I believe in myself.
Just tap in whenever you need me, buddy.
Nope, I got it. I have determination and a small amount of luck that has gotten me to this point in my life where I can sit on a chair. Where's my thing?
So one of the things we have
Matt,
to do.
where's my thing? I want a game. I want to be MLG or whatever the kids call it these days. So now it's time to actually finish building the setup and showing you one of the most important components of this entire place, which is our lighting. Now you might see that we have a couple of panels right here for streaming. However, if you look up, you'll see that we've got just a little bit more to it than that, and it's all controlled by this here iPad. Now this, of course, not only is a gaming setup, but it also is a functional set for us. Now this room has been a lot of things over the years that we've had the office, but right now it is probably the best sorted that it has ever been. So not only do we have a ton of fixtures all around the top of the room, but importantly, they're all controlled with this, an iPad using an app called Luminaire, which connects via Wi-Fi to a DMX box, which controls literally everything in the room. So right now, this is the general preset, so most of the lights are on. It's generally meant so that no matter where I walk in the room, it works. However, if I want to sit down on the couch, for example, then I can very quickly change the entire preset of the lighting. So one of the nice things about the way we have this setup is that no matter what time of day it is, we've got all the lights blocked out, we can get the exact same sort of setup. So say right now, we have the preset where you're looking toward the wood. If you want to come over to this side, I can then turn it on to the head-on angle, which kicks on another couple of lights. You can see literally this is just a one-tap thing. I can switch back and forth pretty much instantly. Now there are a lot of advantages to this. First of all, we don't have to do a lot of camera setup or changing our color because it's all baked to be the exact same no matter where we are in the room. Instead, all of the differences are completely down to the lighting presets. Even if I want to turn this way, we can flip it over and there's a completely different preset based on which way I'm looking in the room because we have even though this is not a massive space, we have a ton of different individual looks that we can use for each and everything that we shoot in here, which is very cool. Of course, this is helpful for things like streaming, but it's also helpful for when we're shooting normal videos. So for the next part of the setup, we actually have to shut everything off because we have one more thing to integrate. So big shout out to APC for sponsoring this part of the video and hooking us up with this. So this is the Pro Gaming UPS. The idea here is that with all of the very expensive electronics that we have connected, not only do we want to make sure that they're nice and safe, but importantly, we also want to give ourselves some extra time. There have been fairly regular blackouts here recently, and this will give us at least a few minutes to wrap up the game, stop the stream, stop the recording, whatever it is that we're doing before everything just goes out. So if you don't know what a UPS is, essentially this is a battery backup for your gear. So you have your router in here, your computer, your game console, whatever the case is. And not only will it help smooth that power out, but importantly, if the power goes down, you will have at least a few minutes to wrap up whatever it is that you're doing. Now, I need to put this in the setup. Thankfully, this is a gaming UPS, which is something new. We actually have one of these, a much larger version, in our server rack. But the idea with this is not only is it designed and it's sized and priced accordingly for gamers, but importantly, you have a full RGB circle. Because it's not a gaming accessory if you don't have RGB. But it actually is legitimately useful, as you'll see in a minute. This is a massive battery, and it will do a full 900 watts of power, which should be plenty for pretty much any gaming PC out there, including stuff like your router, stuff like your PlayStation, your monitor. Now, of course, it will not do that forever, so to maximize the runtime, I'm probably only going to plug in a few things to it. You also do have a normal surge protector outlet, which doesn't run through the battery, so you can only plug in the essentials here. So right now, we have everything connected to our APC unit, which includes our PS5, and right now, we also have a lot of the lights and the TV on. That ultimately won't be the final setup because we really just need one of the gaming monitors to actually be fully supported. Some of the other ones can go into the surge protector. But the nice thing is we have a full backup display here. So not only do we have our RGB ring so we can change the actual colors, we can also see exactly how much load we're pulling through it. Now, the fun part of this whole thing is that now that we are all connected and protected, I can just unplug it and it'll still work. So I probably should have planned this out ahead of time. But this cable right here, as you can see, is going into the back of the unit. If I unplug it, oh look, everything's still running. Now, it's gonna go red because I didn't actually fully charge it, but if I hit the button, right now, we are currently running on battery. So our entire setup, the display, the PS5, all of these lights are running not from power, so if all the power in the actual office was out right now, it wouldn't make a difference. It is all running off of our battery backup. So if you wanna upgrade your gaming game, if you want to protect your gaming gear and also make sure that you have a little bit of extra peace of mind, thankfully letting me know that we're running out of battery right now, check out the link in the description below. So, right now, we have our gaming PC, which of course is powered by a 32-core Threadripper. We have 64 gigs of RAM, a 5700X, as well as we have a secondary Little Dipper system, which is a Ryzen 9 16-core system, 32 gigs of RAM, and another 5700 XT. Now that is our PC side, and on the actual display side, right now I have the Xbox running into the PC so we can capture it, but we have it routed to this monitor. We also have the PS5 up on the TV, so I'll just open up Astro's Playroom for a second. And then on our last monitor, let's open up, I don't know, let's play, I have Overwatch on the system, right?
Yeah.
So PS5 makes total sense, so we're getting that native 4K 60 over here. On the actual Elgato, now to be fair, this is probably not the way you should play something like an Xbox game. So you can see there's a little bit of latency, which is essentially because we are looking at the preview. So if I was actually doing this properly, I would have one display up just for preview and have another display natively routed. So I have it on the TV, for example, so I would be able to see exactly what the gameplay looks like. And at the same time, I can hop into a PC game, and because everything is routed together, we can very easily play games, stream games, and I can look cool as I kill bots because I can't do anything else. Next upgrade, we're gonna label the remote. Oh wait, we're back to where we started. So Xbox is back up here. So that is, because it should go 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go, all right. Simple, so now, I can play a game of Ori on the TV with no latency, a direct feed, and at the same time on the PC, I can be gaming or streaming or recording all of that footage at the exact same time. Ken, would you care to explain how the gaming and specifically the streaming aspect of this works? Because I'm getting confused with that remote.
Sure.
Welcome back. All right, so walk us through the streaming setup side.
Yes, so basically we made this desk with the mindset that anyone that streams in the office, which are actually a lot of us, can come in and stream to their Twitch channels, or if they need to record gameplay, they can do that. And a lot of the stuff that's here will probably look very familiar to you if you've seen a lot of streaming setups. The Go XLR is probably my favorite thing in this entire setup because it is probably one of the easiest and most tactile ways to monitor and control your audio. You can configure all of the RGB and all of the faders and stuff. Most importantly though, the king of all of it is the microphone. This is one of the most popular streaming microphones. They obviously use it for podcasts as well. This is the Shure SM7B. Does really good job of making you sound like you're a radio personality. If you have a deep voice especially, it really accentuates that. In addition to all of that though, we have a Stream Deck, which is something also that you've probably seen in a lot of streaming setups, but there's a reason why this is used a lot. It gives you access to a lot of different shortcuts if you want. You can configure every single button with the screen that is behind the buttons. Also, as Austin is looking at, we have our Elgato Key Lights. So we've kind of leaned into the Elgato ecosystem a little bit. What's cool is that on the Stream Deck, there is integration with all of the Elgato stuff. So for example, I can turn it off. These are controlled via Wi-Fi. And again, this is all made with streamers in mind because the last thing you want to think about when you're streaming is turning on a million different things, having to reach behind the light, hit a switch. You don't want to do that for every single thing that you own. So for as long as you can just sit down, hit a switch, perfect. Now, whenever Austin is doing this, where we're shooting the desk, when we have this just as a backdrop, we like using these key lights as practicals, meaning they don't need to be extremely bright. We want them to be tuned to the rest of the lighting in the studio. However, when we have our camera set up here, what we can do is actually tune it for this particular camera when we're streaming and just want bright light at us.
And now we are in the streaming setup itself. We have set up our Sony a7S III, which we intend to use for streaming when we're not actually filming with it on the daily. And it is being piped into our Elgato 4K60. We are recording right now in OBS in the highest quality that we can, just to demonstrate that it is possible to record high quality streams with this. And on top of that, we are using our top level audio setup for streaming. So we have the Go XLR, the Cloud Lifter, and the SM7B to give us that nice full sounding audio that's picking up my voice. It sounds very radio-y, it sounds very podcasty, the way that we like it. It is really, really cool. And most importantly, because we are recording this in OBS, I actually have some of my stream overlays here as I would normally have in my streams. Normally on this stream, I do my VTuber stuff, which I have mapped to my Stream Deck. Look at this. All of a sudden, I'm in my VTuber mode. I'm Kentama. How's it going? I'm your little PogChamp. Now, of course, this is not the de facto streaming setup, and in fact, it might be overkill or it might not even have enough for some people, but this is what suits our needs the most.
So this is our ultimate PS5, Xbox Series X, Switch, and gaming PC setup. We can record, we can stream, we can play, we have a TV, we have a microphone, we have all kinds of goodies and toys. So thank you very much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and ring-a-ling the ding-a-ling bell for other ridiculous projects like this. If you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go try to play 3 games at once, one more time. Just one more time. I can do it this time. I believe in myself, because my mom told me that I can do anything I put my mind to. Actually, that's a lie. Doc Brown told me that.